are the tools that you will be using to make this collaboration happen. So you're going to be using all kinds of audio, video, and kind of text presence. How many of you regularly use Skype? Show of hands. So when Skype is up and running, there's a thing called presence. It knows whether you're online, offline, busy. You've hidden yourself so that you're online, but people don't know that you're online. So there is a way for you to use this ability to have presence. So when you start working with your team, okay, I would highly recommend that you agree to kind of have Skype or a tool like Skype active, so that you may be working on the project here in the United States and your team member may be in Korea. But if your team member is also using Skype and they're plugged into it, they will see you're active and you'll see that they're active. And if you have a question or they have a question, you can instant message, you can activate just a call, or you can do a video call, and you can interact with them in a very effective way as though they were in the next cubicle at your company. Okay? And so you have to kind of have, for this semester, this notion of being online and being available when you're working the project. And if they know when you're working the project, and it's kind of a sweet spot, it can be overlapped and it can be very effective. The second item there is this semester, we are going to attempt to use Team Center Engineering. Team Center Engineering is a PLM system, a product lifecycle management system. That system is a repository, a server class machine with a large disk associated with it. That system is located at UBC. We will teach you how to log on to a client. When you log on to that client, it will plug you into the Team Center Engineering database at UBC. When you create an NX part or a CATIA part, and you say save, that file will go up and reside on the UBC server. Anybody on your team that is logged in and in the same group folder, in the same team, they will see that you put a part there. If they grab that part and bring it down to their location and work on it and go to put it back on the server's smart enough to say, wait a minute, you can't just store back on top of the part that is sitting there. We're going to give you another version. And so there's going to be a version 1 that you push there, and an edited part that will be a version 2. And if you go and grab, you can either say, I want the original one that I worked on, or I want the latest. And if you grab the latest, it will come down to you, you'll edit it, you'll put it back, not as version 2, but it'll go back as version 3. Team Center Engineering, another product called Enovia, which is the Dassault CATIA product, are similar tools, okay? We are just choosing this semester to only use Team Center Engineering. It has 70% of the market out there, okay? Many companies that have CATIA don't use Enovia, they use Team Center Engineering to do the managing of data. So we're going to be using Team Center Engineering for the very first time. Hope we have all the bugs worked out. But you will see exactly how General Motors, how Boeing, how all of the large companies work globally. They don't save parts on their J drive. That's a BYU joke. They don't save them on their C drives. I mean, you can do that, and you probably should if you're just playing with kind of learning. But when you're doing serious work on your project, you're going to want to be checking it in to UBC so that your entire team is going to be able to see what you can do. Okay. Moderate CAX applications. We already, I think, gave you the list. We're going to be doing CAD, we're going to be doing meshing, we're going to be doing finite elements, CFD, mass property, rendering. We're going to be doing a ton of stuff. And so we're going to be using these things. Application sharing. How many of you heard of WebEx? Okay. How many of you have heard of, what is it called, CUCD or something like that?
Join.me?
There's a one that we're using is Join.me, so I was getting to that. But there's a whole host of these tools. The one that we are going to lock in on is Join.me. If you've never used that, it is a great tool for trying to understand exactly what somebody at a remote site is dealing with. So for an example, if you know how to do meshing really well, you know how to lay down a discretized mesh on a mechanical part, and your team members don't know the first thing about it, you can use Join.me, and they can look at your system and watch it as you're doing all the button clicking. And if you're using Skype, you can be talking to them, teaching them exactly what they're doing. And halfway through the process, you can say, okay, I'm giving you control of my computer. You transfer control, and you say, okay, do those 25 steps on my model. And you can be coaching them and teaching them exactly how to do it. You will find that on your team, there will be different levels of knowledge and understanding on all of these tools. And if you don't take advantage of that, you're foolish. Okay? You really need to be learning from other team members and allowing them to kind of coach you and get you up to speed and running. And so this application sharing is going to be vital for being able to get that done. This last bullet is this whole notion of using Google Docs. Now, how many here at BYU have used kind of Google Docs, Google Spreadsheet, Google, what is it, Google PowerPoint or whatever, Google Presentation, I think is what it's called. Those tools are excellent tools for any kind of report writing, report gathering, anything like that. You can literally have Skype up, have your headset on, and you can have 6 people inside of the same Word doc, the same Google doc. Somebody writing the introduction, somebody working on the body, another person working on the method, and another person working on the results, and another person working on the conclusions. And you can literally be typing and talking about what's going on. You can be putting a presentation together this semester for design reviews, and we start doing them about 6 weeks in. We start asking you to kind of present on where your project is and what's happening. As you're putting the 4 or 5 slides together, you can easily have one person working on slide 1 and another person working on slide 2 and another person working on slide 3. And you can kind of page back and forth and watch what your team members are doing. And that is a much more efficient process than everybody working to their own format, to their own style, to their own thing, and then pushing it all to one person and saying, okay, merge it all together, make it look nice, make it look good, put it all in one report. Now, all of you have done reports that way, the kind of bottom-up approach. Piece here, piece here, piece here, piece here, and somebody has the pain of putting it all into one thing. We want you to experience kind of this multi-user document environment so that you can talk effectively when you graduate about how these tools can improve collaborative design. And they really can. They're very effective at doing that. So hopefully you all got the email about no labs this week. We're going to collapse Lab 1 and 2 together starting next week. Any questions? Can we maybe punch up and see if the other schools are still there and see if we have resolved?
Looks like we've got one.
Question?
Some of them left, I guess. Question?
You said we're classing labs 1 and 2 together. What day?
What's that?
What day are we classing?
So if you're on Wednesday, you'll see both Lab 1 and 2 can merge together. If you're on Friday, you'll see both Lab and 1 can merge together.
Oh, not the
Thank you.